A survey found that 8 out of 10 Singaporeans aspire to own a private home. But the question is, how much do you actually need to earn in order to buy a condo in Singapore today? To answer that question, let's talk about the average condo price first. Of course, condo prices will depend on many factors such as location, the size of the unit, leasehold or freehold, etc. For today's discussion, I'll be using a 3-bedroom condo unit as the case study, which is the most popular type for owner-occupiers including families, HDB upgraders, couples, etc. Based on last year's transaction, the average price of a condo is more than 1.9 million, while the median is more than $1.6 million. Remember that this is not based on the asking price, but based on the actual transacted price. And unfortunately, if your budget is around 1.7 million and you want a 3-bedroom condo, most likely you can only get a resale condo. If you want a 3-bedroom new launch, prices will be above 2 million already unless you compromise on the location. Assuming you are buying a typical 3-bedroom condo at the median price, which is $1.68 million, don't forget that you'll have to pay the buyer's stamp duty as well. This is the property tax that everybody in Singapore has to pay when purchasing a property. According to the IRAS website, here's how the BSD rate is calculated. For the first 180,000, you'll need to pay 1%, then another 2% for the next 180K, etc. In summary, for a $1.6 million condo, the BSD is around $52,000. This makes the total thus far is over $1.74 million, excluding other fees. Now, the next question is, how much loan can you get to buy the condo and how much cash you need out of pocket? For bank loans, there is a loan-to-value limit of 75%, meaning you can borrow up to 75% of the property value from the bank and come up with the remaining 25%. Note that the maximum LTV of 75% is still subject to a credit assessment on whether you have other loans. Assuming you can borrow the full 75%, that means for a $1.68 million condo purchase, you can loan up to a maximum of this amount. Assuming it's at a 4% interest rate and the duration of the mortgage loan is 25 years, that would mean your monthly payment is around $6,682. But note that this is just a conservative estimate and the numbers can swing depending on the interest rate fluctuation. Okay, now let's calculate how much you need to pay for other things beyond housing such as food, transportation, health, etc. According to the Department of Statistics, the average monthly household spending in Singapore is $4,906 per month. This is based on the survey that the government conducted every 5 years. Of course, the amount of monthly spending will be different for each household depending on how many kids you have, whether you need to support your parents or not, your lifestyle, etc. But to keep it simple, let's just take the average as is. So if your condo monthly payment is around $6,600 and your monthly household spending is around $4,900, that would mean ideally your household needs to earn around $1,588 after CPF deduction. Assuming that you are an employee, you will need to earn a household gross income of this amount after factoring in the compulsory 20% CPF contribution. If we round the numbers, it's safe to say that roughly your combined household income should be between 13K to 15K per month. But even if you can, it does not mean that you have to upgrade to a condo. The reality is there is a lot of retrenchment happening across different sectors. Some are because of the economic downturns, but we also see people getting laid off because their job is replaced with AI. So I do recommend to calculate very carefully whether you really want to buy a condo or not, because buying a house is a huge commitment. Don't forget that with the recent government rules, if you are a private property owner and want to buy a more affordable HDB instead, you'll need to wait for 15 months where you need to either rent, live with your family members, or try to appeal to HDB. Next, let's talk about how much money you need to have for the down payment and other upfront costs. Other than the minimum 5% cash payment, the remaining down payment and the BSD can be paid with your CPF OA account. However, note that the BSD will have to be paid in cash before you can claim it from your OA afterwards. In summary, you will need this amount. There are other costs that you'll need to consider, such as legal fees, moving fees, renovation costs, buyer's agent commission, and many more. You might think, wait a minute, what buyer agent commission? I thought for condos there's no buyer agent's fee? Well, starting in July, there is such a thing. Click link in the description box below where I discuss this in my other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!